I mean, yeah, sure, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's cheating, it's all-wheel drive, it's not drifting. What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back in Forza Horizon 2, taking a look at some new DLC cars. Now, I know that these came out a little bit recently, and I've been kind of focusing on a few other games. I've been focusing on the trip to Gamescom, and I've been slightly out of touch with the kind of the base of Forza Horizon 2 for a little while, but I really wanted to get back into it and test out a couple of cars because they've been releasing some really interesting cars lately, like the 2015 Volvo S60 Polestar, and I really wanted to get into this car and kind of see what it could do. And what we're going to be doing is kind of doing a build of this car while, oh gosh, we'll be back in just a second after I buy this car pack. Alright, so we bought the car pack, and we've got our S60 Polestar now, and there's a couple of different designs we could use for it, but honestly, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go with, well, we're going to look through the designs, because I'm sure there's some that are really, really good. And the thing is, the Forza design community is generally always going to, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find some really, really, really good stuff. So, honestly, like, the police designs are cool, and I kind of want to use it for one of, for like a police chase episode with, with that racing game guy, because a bunch of you guys loved the one police chase with the 911 Turbo and the Cayenne. That thing... That video, you guys absolutely loved that video. That thing has, oh gosh, that's like 200-something thousand views now. That thing blew up. So I'm more than happy to make a follow-up video to that. And I like this Willwood Brakes kind of race livery. So let's see. I like this matte blue as well, kind of like that ice matte blue. I like this as well, but at the same time, I kind of want to go with that standard blue because it's a really, really nice color, but maybe rework it into a like a matte finish. But then again, that's kind of like the Polestar color. You know what I mean? That's kind of the essence of a Polestar Volvo, is that signature blue color. But and the thing is too about this car, I love the Volvo Polestars because they're not normal. I guess you could say they're not something you would expect to see. It's not like seeing, say, a Focus RS or a WRX STI, because you already know that something like that is going to be quick. You already know about, you know, the Subaru, like the side of Subaru's performance or Ford performance, but you don't expect to see a Volvo being, oh my gosh, this controller. There we go. Sometimes this particular controller likes to be a little bit weird, and it's probably because I dropped it at one point, but, ooh, wow. When you drop this thing down on race suspension, it looks really nice. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to put it on rally suspension, and then we're going to lower it after the fact in tuning. It's going to look really weird and ugly right now. The suspension is, anyway. But once we can lower this thing down after the fact, well, you know what? Actually, at the same time, we're not building this into a drift car. So let's go ahead and let's just do a race suspension. Because if I do a drift version of this later on, we will swap it over. But since it's a race build, we'll leave it as is, actually, with the race suspension. Take as much weight as we can. We're actually down below 3,000 pounds now, which is pretty impressive. Upgrade the front and rear sway. Well, actually, we forgot brakes. I was like, we forgot something. We forgot something, and it was something really important. I was like, ah, yeah, brakes. So those are generally something that will help you out, especially when you plan on putting a lot more power in a car. Now, my goal for this car is, I mean, we're starting around, what are we starting at? 345 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. My goal, I'm going to say, 750-ish? I've never built one of these before. I'm going to go for 750-ish horsepower. If I can get it up to that, then I'm sure it's going to be quick. I mean, I'm sure it's quick as it is, but if we can get it up somewhere around the 750 horsepower mark, then it's going to be quite the rocket. 245s in the front, and I'm guessing the rear as well, stock. Yeah. So what we are going to do is we're going to stick 275s in the front, and I'm guessing it's going to make us do a square setup because it's all-wheel drive, and it is, and we're going to be putting 275s on the rear as well. And honestly, a square setup is usually 9 times out of 10 what you want on an all-wheel drive car anyway, unless you're dealing with ridiculously high horsepower, but or depending on your front to rear power split. Now for wheels, I actually like the stock wheels a lot. They look really, really good, but But I do want to get a nice set of aftermarket wheels on here. So, let's see what would look good. You know what? That almost looks kind of like you took the standard look and just kind of amped it up just a little bit, and I think that looks awesome. I feel like it's like taking the standard, like I said, the standard look of the car and just improving upon it by just a little bit without going overboard, and it looks just aftermarket enough, but at the same time, it doesn't look like blown out of proportion or anything like that, which is cool. I like it. Now, for Aero and Appearance stuff, I mean, we can get Forza Aero, which I honestly don't really want Forza Aero on this car. I mean, we could remove the Volvo lip, but honestly, I actually kind of like it. I think it looks good. So we're going to stick with it. And for the conversions, we're not going to swap it. I mean, we could put a 6.2-liter V8 in it, which I'm not going to do. But, or we could swap it to rear-wheel drive, which we may do in the future if you guys want to see a drift version of this car. I mean, I feel like we could do a drift version, and it would be a lot of fun. But at the same time, I want to build this thing up and see what it can do as a race-built, purpose-built car. So, let's see, 372 horsepower. We're not going to see a lot of power gains until we start upgrading the two things, the cam and the turbo. So, I mean, really, that's really not what you see massive gains from. We're already over 400 horsepower. We're actually pushing 403 horsepower and 431 pounds-feet of torque already, which is no slouch, especially in something that weighs less than 3,000 pounds. 479 horsepower after we do the cam. And let's see, 494 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. Nearly 500 horsepower out of this thing now. I'm starting to think that 750 is a little bit more doable than I thought it was before. 540, that's before we've even touched the turbo. We'll do the turbo last. 557. Actually, all of a sudden, I'm starting to think that 750 might not be what we're gonna get out of this thing. We'll have to see. It's up in the air. It all depends on the turbo now. All right, standard turbo, 566 horsepower, 533 pound-feet of torque. Stage 1, 650 horsepower, 612 pound-feet of torque. And then the second stage of that with a race turbo is 707 horsepower and 665 pound-feet of torque. Not the 750 horsepower goal I was aiming for, but it's still plenty of power. I mean, anything over 700 is a lot of power. It really is a lot of power, and it's nothing to sneeze at or be like, oh, it's not fast. I mean, I feel like in this era, we kind of get spoiled by some cars that we see on the internet, like, and we're like, oh, just because it wasn't a 2,000 horsepower GTR on, you know, whatever racing channel you want to pick out, it doesn't mean it's not fast. I mean, I feel like that sometimes gets taken out of proportion sometimes, as far as what is actually fast. Lower the tire pressure just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then, let's see. Diff, I kind of want a little bit more. You know what? We'll leave it alone. We'll leave the diff alone for now, and we can change it. We can change it later. I want to see what this car does kind of as a baseline, and then we can modify the tune as we go from there. And I think the big thing that I'm concerned about is the launch, because it's either going to blow the tires off like crazy, or it's going to hook so well that it's not going to want to go anywhere. So, I mean, I feel like that could be, either one of those could be an issue, but we're going to take it out to the main road and launch it and see what it can do. I'm not going to get into it at all right now, but let's see if it makes any cool turbo noises. Like, nothing at all. I hear, like, no blow-off valve, nothing. Are you serious? Did that bush literally just stop us like that? Really? Oh, come on, then. Okay. But yeah, I hear, like, no blow-off valve, nothing at all. I mean, I'm sure it's there, but you just don't hear it. Alright, I'm gonna balance it right at about, we're gonna see about launching it right between 4.5, right around 4,500 RPMs. And go. Okay, maybe not. Let's try 5,000 at about half throttle. little bit more then. I'm trying to find the perfect launch point for this car. Sound glitch. It's not slow, that's for sure. It's not slow, especially for a Volvo. It's very quick. It's very, very quick. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Oh, nice BRZ. We're going to tune some gears just a little bit and see if we can... Because I kind of want this thing to be a little bit more of a... Not necessarily a quarter-mile car, but... more of an acceleration-focused car. Because I know it's not going to be... You're not going to be getting a top-speed beast out of this car. So... Now, after sticking the 373 gear ratio in this thing, let's see what happens. Because it's benchmarking our 0 to 60 at 2.7 seconds, which is pretty quick. But I'm thinking that that's going to be... I'm thinking it's going to be amplified a little bit by... Well, I mean, you just stick it in fourth and you floor it. It's like... It doesn't pick up very quick, but it does pick up quicker than it did before. So I'm going to pull up to this junction right up here and see what happens. And I'm thinking that this thing might actually be a pretty good roll race car as well. Oh, come on. That was pitiful. Do it again. There you go. Holy crap. Well, this thing goes. Like I said, it's not a top speed monster, but at the same time, it really, really moves. Yeah, bounces off the rev limiter at about 210. But wow, what a ridiculous Volvo. I mean, seriously, what a ridiculous Volvo. And you know what? Let's not stop there, though. Let's put 410s in it and see what happens. I'm not going to go any more than 410, but honestly, if that's what 373s did to this car, I'm very curious as to see what 410s will do to it, because if that's what the 373s did, then, well, let me see what the benchmark 0 to 60 is now with the 410s. 2.75 as opposed to like 2.77. So we may, that may be as high as we want to go. We'll see. Holy crap, first gear is like over and done with. And go. Jeez. Yeah, it's quick. And you know what? That's the best part about it, is that it's so unassuming. I mean, sure, it bounces off the rev limiter in 6th at 191, but at the same time, what other Volvo is going to do that? Really, what other Volvo is going to do that? I can't think of one, and I certainly think that it's not going to be, Wow, okay. All-wheel drive drift car much? Block status? Unicorn status? Jeez. I don't think I've ever found anything that all-wheel drive slides like this does, or at least as effortlessly as this thing does. That's ridiculous. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Okay, it's got good brakes, so we're alright. It actually starts to break all 4 tires loose at the top of first gear. I mean, yeah, sure, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's cheating, it's all-wheel drive, it's not drifting. But at the same time, it's so much fun to throw a car in at, like, complete negative angle like that, and just pull it back out of it. No problem at all. It just doesn't care. And again, yeah, sure, it's easy, but at the same time, oh my god! Wow! Oh my god! I did not expect to save that. I thought that was going to be a complete failure. That was. Seriously, though, for just a car to mess around in, wow. just complete negative angle drifts, negative entries all day. It's ridiculous. And it's got just enough power going to the back that you can kind of balance it out a little bit. Oh my god. It's just so fun. I've never found another all-wheel drive car that was able to string together power slides like that. No other all-wheel drive car I've ever found that was able to do that. Or at least do it that easily. I mean, sure, I found ones that could do it, but not that easily. I mean, yeah, sure, that was kind of a fail because we hit the wall. But I'm just kind of playing around with this thing now because it's just such a fun car to mess with. Oh my god. Okay, that was terrible. Don't even... I'm not even going to pretend that that was even a good idea, because that was bad. Nope. Eh. I mean, sure, you could use it as a battering ram, but... All the angle. Domestic mango status. But, I mean, if you ever did want to imitate Domestic Mango, I can't think of an easier car to do it in. Just because of the fact that, I mean, I built this to be sort of like an unassuming drag car. It turned into so much more than that. It turned into so much more. If he, you know what? If he wasn't there, that would have been really good. But I think that's kind of one of those just things where you're like, whatever. Well, oh, wow. It doesn't care how much angle you throw it in at, like how negative the angle is. It will pull itself back out, no problem. Completely, it's this car is just seriously putting a huge smile on my face right now, and you guys have to try it because there's no, like, I don't care whether it's all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. If a car can just make you smile repeatedly, no matter whether it, you know, in real life, in Forza, it's worth it to at least try it out. That was, yeah, I came a little too hot on that one. That was just into the bushes. But it's just so cartoony the way it saves itself. And it shouldn't work, but it does. And again, like I said, I'm just laughing so hard right now. I'm just giggling like crazy. Yeah. You can't go in with that much speed, otherwise you screw up, but... And I also did not plan on this video being this long, but I also did not plan on having this much fun with this car either, so... Aw, tree. Is that... What? Wait a minute, come back here. Let me see that wide body design. Photo mode. Dang! What is this? I mean, well, yes, it's an M6, I get that. But, this wide body design... That is so cool. That is seriously so cool. I don't know why I took a picture of it. I'm just trying to kind of move my camera around it. But that looks so good. Wow. We need proper body kits like that in Forza. We really do. But, I mean, this thing, I love this car. I absolutely love this car, guys. I think that it's definitely worth trying out. It's worth having in your garage. It's worth maxing out and having a good time with. So, if you guys enjoyed this slightly unorthodox test of the Volvo S60 Polestar, then don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later.